Welcome to Heartbeat Chronicles, the podcast that takes you on a captivating journey through the intricate tapestry of love, sex, journaling, wellness, the world of counseling and therapy, and everything messy in between. Get ready to explore the depths of human emotion and discover new ways to navigate the complexities of the heart. In today's episode, we'll cover the importance of healing inner child wounds for personal growth. Welcome, lovely soulful ambassadors, to Heartbeat Chronicles, where every beat tells a story. I'm your host, Riley Mitchell, and I'm thrilled to have you join us today for a compassionate and healing discussion on inner child wounds. Inner child wounds are the emotional and psychological scars that we develop during our formative years. These wounds can have a significant impact on our beliefs, behaviors, and relationships in adulthood. They are often a result of experiences such as neglect, abandonment, trauma, or unmet needs during our childhood. The concept behind inner child wounds is that our current emotional struggles may be tied to unresolved issues from our past. Exploring and healing these wounds is a transformative journey that allows for self-discovery, self-compassion, and breaking the cycle of repetitive patterns. In today's episode, we are fortunate to have a guest expert, Marchesi, to guide us in understanding the profound impact of inner child wounds and strategies for healing. Mara has extensive experience in working with individuals on their healing journeys, and we are honored to have her share her wisdom with us. Before we dive deeper into this topic, let's explore some specific examples of inner child wounds. These examples can help us identify and address the wounds that may be holding us back from personal growth and healing. The first example is abandonment. This refers to the feeling of being abandoned by a caregiver or loved one during childhood. It can lead to a fear of rejection and difficulties in forming deep and meaningful connections with others. Another example is neglect. Emotional or physical neglect during childhood can result in challenges with self-worth and difficulties in trusting others. Trauma is also an important example of inner child wounds. Enduring traumatic events during our formative years leaves emotional scars that may manifest as anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, or other mental health issues. Rejection is another significant inner child wound. Consistent rejection or criticism during childhood can contribute to low self-esteem and a constant need for external validation. Growing up in an enmeshed family where boundaries were blurred can result in the difficulty of establishing healthy relationships as an adult. This example is known as enmeshment. Perfectionism is yet another example of inner child wounds. Being held to unrealistically high standards during childhood can foster a fear of failure and perfectionistic tendencies that persist into adulthood. Betrayal is an inner child wound that occurs when a caregiver or close figure betrays our trust. This can lead to trust issues and challenges in forming authentic connections with others later in life. Unmet needs during childhood, whether emotional or physical, can create a longing for validation and fulfillment in adult relationships. Shame is another inner child wound that stems from enduring consistent shaming or guilt during childhood. This can result in deep-seated feelings of inadequacy and self-blame. Lastly, control issues can arise from growing up in an environment where there was little control. This fosters a need for excessive control or rigidity in adulthood as a way to cope with uncertainty. Understanding these examples helps us identify and address specific wounds, which is crucial for paving the way to healing and personal growth. Remember, soulful ambassadors, the road to healing our inner child wounds may not be easy, but it is undoubtedly worth it. By acknowledging and addressing these wounds, we can break free from patterns that no longer serve us and create a more fulfilling and compassionate life. So let's embark on this journey together with open hearts and a commitment to our own healing. Stay tuned as we continue our conversation with Marchesi and explore powerful strategies for healing inner child wounds. Get ready to embark on a transformative journey towards self-discovery and self-compassion. Thank you for joining us today on Heartbeat Chronicles, where every beat tells a story. Keep listening, keep healing. Growing up as an only child, raised by my incredible mother, I faced a unique challenge that left an indelible mark on my inner child: the absence of my father. Now, don't get me wrong, my mother was a pillar of strength and love who provided everything a child could need. But the question of my father's absence lingered in the back of my mind. It wasn't until a school event that the realization hit me like a ton of bricks. My friends excitedly introduced their fathers, and there I stood, alone. The pang of abandonment cut deep, and a whirlwind of questions echoed in my mind. Why wasn't he here? Did he not care about me? As I navigated through adolescence, these questions became the fuel for a sense of loss and longing that I couldn't shake off. They made me question my own self-worth and left me searching for answers. However, it was through this challenging journey that I discovered the strength and resilience hidden within the depths of my inner child. It was also during this time that my incredible mother, recognizing the gap, became both my guiding force and the embodiment of a father figure. Now, let me fill you in on something. When I was in 6th grade, or as we call it here in Kenya, class 6, my father reached out in an attempt to establish a father-daughter relationship. But let's just say that it didn't quite work out. We exchange casual greetings now and then, but deep conversations or advice on important matters just don't happen. You could say that he's my dad by birth, but an important figure in my life? That's a no. What about you? What are your relationships like with your parents? Drop a comment or slide into our DMs. Is it something you want to work on, or are you not quite ready? As for me, am I there yet? Honestly, I don't know. Only time will tell. Despite my father's abandonment, it's important to acknowledge that it had a lasting impact on me. It made me a girl with daddy issues. This, in turn, affected how I formed my romantic relationships. I find myself attracted to men who possess fatherly qualities, those who are givers, protective, and providers. I seek out men who make me feel safe and secure, not just the wababas kind, as we call it here in Kenya, but simply men who are 5 to 8 years older than me. But as I embarked on my journey of healing, I realized that the love and support surrounding me extended far beyond traditional roles. Conversations with my mother about my feelings brought understanding and a sense of closure. The wounds started to heal as I embraced the love that was present, rather than dwelling on what seemed missing. So here's a big shout out to my mom for stepping up and filling that void, making me feel loved. Nowadays, I carry with me the lessons I've learned throughout this journey: resilience, self-love, and the power of chosen family. My inner child, once wounded by perceived abandonment, now thrives in the warmth of unconditional love. And guess what? This experience has not only shaped my understanding of family, but also become a source of strength that I share with others who are on their own paths to healing. So let's take a moment to acknowledge and heal our inner child wounds. By doing so, we are paving the way for a brighter future filled with self-love, acceptance, and the power to break the cycle of generational pain. It may not be an easy journey, but trust me when I say that it's worth it. You are worth it, and together we can create a world where healing is possible for everyone. Self-exploration is an incredible journey of personal growth and healing. It's like a compass that guides us towards understanding and healing our inner child wounds. Today, I want to talk about why self-awareness through self-exploration is so crucial for our overall well-being and fulfillment. The first reason why self-exploration is important is because it helps us identify our unhealed wounds. As we embark on this journey of self-discovery, we gain insights into our past experiences and emotions. It's like we're shining a light into the dark corners of our minds and hearts, and in doing so, we uncover wounds that have been buried deep within us. These wounds often stem from our formative years and are carried with us, sometimes unconsciously, into adulthood. By identifying these wounds, we can start the healing process. Another reason why self-exploration is vital is that it allows us to understand our triggers and recurring behavioral patterns. As we become more attuned to our inner selves, we begin to unravel the threads of our inner child wounds. We start to see how our present reactions and behaviors are connected to past experiences. This understanding gives us the power to consciously break free from detrimental cycles that may have been holding us back. Self-exploration also encourages us to embrace vulnerability. This is a key element in addressing our inner child wounds. When we embark on this journey, we create a safe space for ourselves to acknowledge and express our emotions. It's like we're allowing ourselves to be truly seen and heard. This process can be incredibly liberating and cathartic, as it helps us release built-up emotions and find a sense of healing and peace. Building self-compassion is another important aspect of self-exploration. As we navigate the depths of our inner selves, we come to realize that our inner child acted from a place of innocence and survival. We recognize that the wounds we carry were not our fault, but rather a result of circumstances beyond our control. This realization allows us to extend understanding and kindness to ourselves, fostering a sense of self-compassion. Moreover, self-exploration empowers us to regulate our emotions effectively. By unearthing our inner child wounds, we gain a greater awareness of our emotional triggers. This awareness gives us the power to respond consciously rather than react impulsively. Instead of being controlled by automatic responses rooted in past traumas, we can choose how we want to respond in the present moment. This emotional regulation is a game changer in our overall well-being and relationships. Self-exploration also serves as a catalyst for healing. When we acknowledge and address the wounds of our inner child, we initiate a transformative process that leads to genuine healing and personal growth. It's like we're giving ourselves permission to heal and move forward in life. This healing journey can be challenging and may require support from others, but it's a journey that is incredibly rewarding in the end. Additionally, understanding our inner child wounds enables us to build a solid foundation for authenticity. When we embrace our true selves, unburdened by unresolved issues, we can live more authentically in our present relationships and experiences. We no longer need to hide behind masks or pretend to be someone we're not. Instead, we can show up as our authentic selves, embracing our strengths and vulnerabilities. In essence, the journey of self-exploration is an act of self-love. It empowers us to reclaim our narrative, break free from the chains of the past, and nurture a more compassionate and resilient inner child. As we embark on this journey, we begin to discover that the key to healing lies within our own willingness to explore, understand, and embrace the beautifully complex layers of our inner world. So, if you're ready to embark on this transformative journey, I encourage you to take the first step. Start by creating a safe space for yourself, whether it's through journaling, therapy, or simply setting aside time for self-reflection. Be patient and gentle with yourself as this process takes time. Remember that you are deserving of healing and growth. As you delve into self-exploration, may you find the courage to face your wounds, the strength to heal, and the joy of discovering your authentic self. Today, we have the pleasure of welcoming someone truly exceptional to the Heartbeat Chronicles podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to meet the one and only Mara Marchesi, affectionately known as the Intuition Queen. Mara, your reputation precedes you as a visionary force in the realm of personal healing, especially when it comes to the delicate work of healing inner child wounds. With empathetic grace and a vibrant touch of creativity, Mara has carved out her space as an intuitive and creative coach, a healer who listens with the heart and guides with wisdom. Her intuitive abilities, coupled with a passion for creativity, empower her clients to embark on transformative journeys towards self-discovery and profound healing. Mara brings with her not just her expertise, but also her genuine dedication to nurturing the innermost parts of the self that many have forgotten or neglected. So, let's dive into the substance of what makes Mara the Intuition Queen and why she is the guiding light for so many on their paths to wholeness and self-love. Welcome, Mara. It's an honor to have you trailblaze with us on this inaugural episode of our show. Embarking on a journey to understand herself better, Mara Marchesi uncovered her innate ability to heal not just her own, but others' inner child wounds as well. As we delve deeper into the tapestry of her life story, we find that Mara is not just another coach. She stands apart as an intuitive and creative guide. Her unique qualifications come from rigorous training and an empathetic understanding of human emotions and the traumas that shape them. Mara's expertise is born from a rich educational background focused on personal development and healing modalities. She is well-versed in an array of techniques that reach into the depths of the psyche, enabling individuals to reconnect with their lost inner child. Through years of dedicated practice, Mara has honed her intuitive skills, complementing them with creative methods that draw out a person's deepest truths. Her experience spans working with diverse individuals from all walks of life, each with a specific tale of past hurts and present fears. Mara's guiding light has illuminated the path for many, leading them out of darkness and into a space of self-awareness and healing. This extensive experience is not just professional, it's personal. She has traveled the road herself, turning her insights and realizations into tools that empower her sessions. From one-on-one coaching to workshops and speaking engagements, Mara Marchesi has carved a niche in the wellness community as a beacon of hope and transformation. Healing inner child wounds is not just her career, it's her calling, a purpose proudly embraced and profoundly lived every day. Our path to healing is often shrouded in mystery, but with Mara's guidance, one can navigate the labyrinth with confidence and grace, stepping into a place of inner peace and fulfillment. As we draw nearer to the heart of today's conversation, I cannot help but express our profound gratitude to Mara Marchesi for joining us. Mara, being the inaugural guest on the Heartbeat Chronicles podcast, you bring an invaluable perspective to our listeners, for which we are immensely thankful. Your presence here today is not just a privilege for us, but also a gift to everyone tuned in, eager for the wisdom and insights you're about to share. Your journey in healing and intuitive coaching truly embodies the pulse of change and the spirit of inner growth that we cherish. Thank you, Mara, for being here with us. And now, dear listeners, let's dive into the transformative wisdom Mara has in store.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Thank you for having me. So as Michelle said, my name is Mara Marchesi, aka the Intuition Queen, and I am an energy alchemist and catalyst for change. And I am a life coach, a healer, a psychic, and I do a lot of work on emotional and energetic healing to help entrepreneurs and creative souls to free themselves from limitations and tune into their abundance frequency so they can create the life that they desire. And I use modalities like color therapy, human design, Reiki, and a lot of other things that I learned through my journey in the last, let's say, 15 years. My story. So basically, I'm Italian and I moved to London in 2009, and everything started for me because a friend of mine told me to read The Secret, and from that book, I learned what self-development was, and I started to read more books and watch more videos and do the things that people were suggested in the books, and I could see that things were working. And so I dove deeper into manifestation, the law of attraction, and after quite a few years, in 2015, I decided to finally sign up to a coaching academy. And throughout my years, I learned a lot of what were my limitations, how to overcome my fears. And as I was doing this for me, then I was able to start to help my clients once I became a life coach and I could actually have clients. So this is how everything started. And as I moved forward, then I started to incorporate more and more techniques, and I started to learn more stuff. And yeah, it just went from there.
Can you share a bit about your personal journey in overcoming inner child wounds and how it led you to become a life coach and healer?
Yeah, well, I always had some issues with my mom. My mom is a narcissist, and it never felt like she actually really loved me. I always felt like judged and like there was something missing. And me moving to London kind of helped me to want to find my own way, because I didn't feel supported when I was in Italy. I never felt really much supported by my family. And so I learned to deal with things by myself. I learned to be very independent, and I learned to just do things that made me feel good. And moving away from Italy was one of the reasons why. Although the main reason is that I absolutely loved London and my soul felt really comfortable here and it felt like this was my home.
Mhm.
But I believe that the truth was that I just needed to find my own way here and really discover what it meant to be fully independent. And and it worked out for a while, but I learned that I had a lot of confidence issues and a lot of problems with not feeling good enough, money, and all of that.
Mhm.
And when I started to study as a coach, then I also started to do more uh, emotional healing. I started to do Reiki and other a lot of other things. I started to work with healer and coaches, and I discovered what my fears were and what were the things that were keeping me stuck. And as I was doing that for myself,
Mhm.
I obviously got more interested. And but the real healing for me started when I left my job because my mom were absolutely crazy. By that point, my dad had passed away,
Mhm.
and my dad was always the one that was trying to support me, even if he couldn't really be that supportive in front of my mom because she would get jealous.
Mhm.
But I could feel his love, even if he wasn't the kind of person that would be always talking to you or something like that. But I knew that
Mhm.
he was different.
Mhm.
And so when I left my job and I told my mom, I left my job, I'm doing this, she
Mhm.
went absolutely crazy. And for like about 8 months, I didn't speak to her because
Mhm.
she went ballistic. She started accusing me of things and
Mhm.
wanting her money. It was just such a overreaction that I didn't expect. I didn't
Mhm.
expect her to say, well done.
Mhm.
I hope everything goes well, but I didn't even expect it, that kind of reaction. And um, and then I moved past that. I worked on that, and in 2021, I felt my soul kind of wanted me to go back to Italy. So at some point one day, I felt this thing, and I'm like, no, I don't want to move back to Italy. That had never been in question for me. That had never been something that I wanted to do.
Mhm.
But the desire was really strong, and I had learned over the years that when my intuition says you go, you do this, you do it. Because if I go against it or if I wait, then I get pushed out of the situation. And so I rather control the situation in a way. So
Mhm.
I felt that I needed to go back home to do some healing,
Mhm.
but I thought it was more about ancestral healing.
Mhm.
And the reality was that when I moved back, as soon as all my boxes got back, my
Mhm.
mom started showing her colors, and I had completely forgotten what was my biggest fear. And my biggest
Mhm.
fear had always been that my mom would sabotage my life because that's what she has always done.
Mhm.
And so I really had a hard time because I couldn't work. My energy was not there. My nervous system was in complete shamble, and I was really struggling to do my job.
Mhm.
And in that moment, I decided to work with my healer. So we worked on releasing this big fear that I had, and that obviously was affecting me in the way I had showed up in my business before, and it
Mhm.
was obviously affecting me then.
Mhm.
And yeah, it was a really hard and challenging time because my mom was on to me every single day, and we would have a fight at least a couple of times a week, if not more. So I had to really learn how to not let me influenced by her craziness.
Mhm.
And once I completed the healing process with my healer,
Mhm.
I then moved back to London, and I'm using everything that I've learned to help other people releasing the same, because a lot of people unfortunately have had dysfunctional families, and even if you don't realize it, that affects you so much in the way you show up in your life and your relationships and everything. And so since I've gone through this, I want
Mhm.
to help people to release that too.
Wow, Mara, your story is incredibly powerful and deeply moving. As I listen to you recount your personal journey of healing from the wounds inflicted by a narcissistic mother, I am touched by the resilience and strength you've shown. It's remarkable how you've transformed your pain into a passionate drive to help others. Your dedication to becoming a life coach and healer is an inspiring testament to the idea that our greatest struggles can lead to our most profound purposes in life. It's clear that by confronting and embracing your inner child wounds, you have unlocked a level of empathy and understanding that truly makes a difference in people's lives. Thank you for sharing your journey with us so openly. Your story is a beacon of hope for anyone facing similar challenges, showing that healing is possible and that from that healing, we can find a renewed sense of purpose. Thank you, Mara, for guiding others through their healing with such compassion and wisdom. Were there specific moments or realizations that prompted you to embark on this transformative path?
Well, it's kind of I always been on the lookout for something that would make my life better.
Mm-hmm.
Because I grew up with a family that didn't think you can change your life that much.
Okay.
And for me, that's never been true.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I wanted more. I knew I could have more. I just didn't know how.
Mm-hmm.
So when I moved to London, I started reading all of those books and watching all of those videos and, taking action on what they were saying and seeing the little results and the little changes. I
Mm-hmm.
knew that that was something that I had to pursue. But I think that the first time that I really did something deeper was in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
My friend was doing family constellation. She was organizing family constellation,
Mm-hmm.
and she knew my family dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
And so she said to me, "Why don't you come have a workshop with me and all the other people that are here, so we can help you release some of the patterns that you keep on having?" Because what turned out was that the same kind of relationship that I had with my dad and my mom would
Mm-hmm.
then transfer energetically with my bosses.
Mm-hmm.
So one day I was talking to her and I was having, again, problems with my bosses. She was like, "Do you realize that you have the same dynamic that you have at home?" And
Mm-hmm.
when she said that at the beginning, I'm like, "What?" And so she explained a little bit and I
Mm-hmm.
started to see what she meant.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to do a workshop with her.
Mm-hmm.
And from that moment, I kind of realized a lot of things. And I think that started my healing journey. But I think that the most transformative times for me have been when I left my job and I started my business,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of the fears and limiting beliefs started to come up and they couldn't come up before.
Yeah.
Um, so that was one moment. And then when my dad passed away in 2015, because
Mm-hmm.
that's when I realized that I had to make my life happen now. Obviously, when I went back to Italy, because that I think was the biggest healing part of my journey,
Yeah.
because I couldn't escape it and it was very, very deep and it helped me to really uncover something so deep that I had no idea about.
Mm-hmm. So, as a life coach and healer, what approaches do you find most effective in guiding individuals through their healing journeys?
So I do color therapy and I read your color chart. So based on your date of birth, you have specific colors that tell something about you, your life, your energy, your childhood, past life. It depends on the person.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say you come to me with something that you want to work on,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe you have a fear, maybe I don't know, there is a situation that is not moving forward, something that you want to uh, address in your life and that you want to better in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And so I will tune into your energy, and with the help of the meaning of each color, then I'm able to tune into your energy and receive messages from your energy, from your aura.
Mm-hmm.
So I will tell you what I felt, and we can work on that. So then I make people aware
Mm-hmm.
of what's really going on behind the scenes, because a lot of the people don't really know what's going on. Maybe they do a little bit of work and they think, oh, I am behaving like this, so this is not happening to me because of this. But then there is always something deeper.
Mm-hmm.
Some people just don't have the tools or the knowledge to understand that. So I go deeper, and I start to connect
Mm-hmm.
parts of maybe past lives, or maybe it's your childhood situation. We get stuck on everything that is blocking us is stuck in our body. Situation that when you were a child, or maybe something that happened when you were younger, or maybe something that it's related to ancestor lines or past life, or maybe there are a variety of different things depending on the person. And
Mm-hmm.
so we uncover that, and
Mm-hmm.
then I help them to release and find a way to move forward.
We carry the child we once were into adulthood, and that child within us holds on to the emotional wounds we encountered early on. For me, one of those profound wounds was abandonment, specifically by my father. This wound, it's like an echo that has resonated through my life, especially evident in my search for romantic partners. I've found myself drawn to men with certain qualities, ones that I subconsciously associate with a father figure, qualities that I missed out on during those tender years. It's a pattern, I've realized, one that's influenced my relationships more than I had ever acknowledged before. And I know I'm not alone. Many of us grapple with these invisible threads that tie our past to our present. So, let's take a moment to understand the power of these inner child wounds and how they shape the very essence of who we are and who we love. So, the abandonment by my father, it really carved out this template for what I found comfortable in relationships. I found myself magnetically drawn to men who would exhibit these, let's say, paternal characteristics. It wasn't something I was consciously seeking out. It was almost like an invisible thread pulling me toward them. And it took a lot of self-reflection to understand that these choices were not random. They were directly linked to that inner child wound of feeling left behind. It's interesting how these deep-seated experiences can shape our desires and attachments, sometimes without us even realizing it. The little girl in me was looking for that safety and care that she felt she didn't get. And in many ways, that has dictated the course of my love life.
Of course, because not having had a father figure, well, you have a father wound, and so you need to work on that, because that's how you're going to always relate to a male figure,
Mm-hmm.
especially in a romantic way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Reflecting on my present relationship, I see how my boyfriend's fatherly attributes echo my search for security. His protective nature, guidance, and unwavering support mirror the paternal presence I craved. The link is undeniable. My longing for a father figure subtly steered my heart to someone who could fill that void. Even now, I catch myself looking for those comforting qualities, a testament to the deep-seated impact of that early abandonment. It's an intricate dance of healing and recognition, entwined within the fabric of my romantic life. Mara. Healing inner child wounds, like the abandonment I've experienced, requires careful, compassionate work. One practice I found incredibly valuable is visualization. Journey back to meet your inner child in a safe space, often through meditation sessions. Here, you can offer the comfort and the reassuring presence that you felt was missing. It's about reparenting that part of yourself, acknowledging the hurt, but also fostering a sense of security and acceptance. This work lays the foundation for profound healing and allows you to seek out healthier relationships rooted in self-worth, not just seeking qualities you yearned for as a child. Thank you for bringing this into our discussion. It's so crucial for understanding the patterns we find ourselves in. Your AKA name is Intuition Queen. How did you discover your intuitive abilities, and how do you incorporate intuition into your coaching practices? What inspired the name Intuition Queen, and how does it embody your approach to coaching and healing?
Well, intuition is something we all have. We will have differently from one another, but I've always been very intuitive. I always felt other people's energies. When I was younger, if I met someone new and this person will come to me and say, "Hi, nice to meet you. I'm blah 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 blah," just by giving that person my hand to meet, I would feel something. I would feel like, oh, I really like the energy of this person, or I would feel like, there's something about this person that I don't like. I always felt other people's energies. When I was younger, if I met someone new and this person will come to me and say, "Hi, nice to meet you. I'm blah 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 blah," just by giving that person my hand to meet, I would feel something. I would feel like, oh, I really like the energy of this person, or I would feel like, there's something about this person that I don't like. So oftentimes I wasn't able to explain that to the people I had around. I was like, I don't know, there is something about that person that I don't like. Don't. So I always been like this. I always felt into things, but I never really thought about it that much. And then when I entered this world and I was starting to be a coach, I also had a friend who was a psychotherapist and hypnotherapist, sorry, hypnotherapist, and she was also a channeler. And I was towards, I think, I don't remember if I had already graduated or if I was just about to.
Mm-hmm.
We were having I love having conversations with her. I was always open-minded, and I just loved it. And I just remember, so sometimes she would tell me, "Oh, I am receiving this message and blah blah blah," and she would always tell me, "Oh, you should be doing this, you should be doing that." And I took it as a good sign, so we'll maybe journal about it. And one day, I think I was explaining to her, there was an exercise on the coaching module where to help you figure out what kind of coach did you want to be. There were a few questions, and as I responded to the question at the end of it, it came out that I was an intuitive and creative coach. And I was like, of course I am. That's me. Like, it makes a lot of sense. That's me. Because the reason why I moved to London is because I follow my intuition, and a lot of the biggest decisions in my life have been made because I felt it, my intuition told me so. And for a lot of people, some of my choices were not logically making sense.
Mm-hmm.
They were making sense for me. And so one day I was talking to her and she was like, "Oh, wait, because I'm receiving messages from spirit, and your name should be the Intuitive Queen." And I was like, "What?"
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, "Yeah, this is your name. You
Mm-hmm.
need to be called in this way because your intuition is really, really strong." I was like, "Okay." And I was like, "But my intuition is like yours, like everybody else." She's like, "No, no, no. Your intuition is strong." And it wasn't something that I could understand much at that time,
Mm-hmm.
because I did believe that everybody has the same kind of way of feeling intuitive.
Mm-hmm.
I learned then afterwards that yes, I am extremely powerful. My intuition is extremely powerful. Whatever I feel, it's right. But at that time, when she gave me that name, she was like, "Okay, well, look, feel into it. What do you feel?" I
Mm-hmm.
was like, "Well, I actually feel really good about it. Like, I actually like it." But I felt the responsibility of the name Queen. And she was
Mm-hmm.
like, "But this is who you are." And so as I took it on, I was like, "Okay." And then I started talking to some other people, and they were like, "Yeah, yeah, that's your name." And I was like, "Okay." And another friend of mine started asking me a question. She was like, "What do you feel about it?" I was like, "I feel good." She's like, "Well, then this is your name." And so that's how it came about. And yeah, so this is my name now. Like in 2000 and end of 2017, beginning 18.
It's fascinating to hear about the journey that led you to embrace the title of Intuition Queen, Mara. Uncovering innate abilities like intuition often feels like a mix of self-discovery and destiny intertwining. By choosing a name that so vividly encapsulates your guiding principle, it immediately signals to those seeking guidance the essence of what you offer. Your intuitive prowess doesn't just influence your coaching, it's the lighthouse that illuminates the path for your clients, a true testament to the transformative power of tapping into one's inner wisdom. It's genuinely inspiring to see how our natural gifts, once acknowledged, can shape our purpose and the impact we have on the world. Can you share an instance where your intuition played a significant role in supporting someone's healing?
What I'm doing and who I'm working with. Some people are very analytical and some people are not. So when I have people that are more open-minded, my intuition is stronger there. Some other times it depends, but it works whenever it's needed. So it's not something that I need to turn on. I am intuitive. This is how I am and how I function. So it's not something that I need to turn on or off. I just get messages all the time. So I just need to listen and then I just translate the message that I receive from my intuition to the person I'm working with.
How do you use creative coaching techniques to help individuals express and navigate their emotions?
Said earlier, I use color therapy. That's the part
It's the
where,
same.
you know, so I use creativity there, but then there are so many things that I can help someone with. And so it depends on the person, you know, like depends on what they want to work on, what kind of every session, whenever I have people working with me for months, then every session is different because it depends on what's going on in their life. Well, you know, so there are so many different techniques. I use human design. I use a lot of meditations, things that I've learned through my the courses that I've done, people that I met. So it really is different for everybody. There isn't something specific that I do all the times.
Balancing intuition with logic can be challenging. How do you strike that balance, especially when working with clients who may approach healing more analytically?
When I'm working with analytical people, I just give them steps that are more precise. So if I'm working with people that do not really appreciate the spiritual stuff, then I just give them exercises that are more practical. And then I put some more spiritual stuff in there. So I use less spiritual techniques with them. I still use them. I just give them the time to open up to it rather than just go straight into it. Some people come to me because I am spiritual. And so when they come to me for that reason, it's because they want that. So they're open from the beginning to everything that comes along. They're happy for me to channel. They're happy for me to do everything. But with analytical people, I just have to gain their trust. So I just give them more practical stuff to do at the very beginning, and then I move forward with our. Normally, people open up after a little bit, and they realize how I function and how those techniques also help them, and so they relax about it. But yeah, I just give them a little bit more time to learn more about me.
I love that you give room for your clients to choose how they want to start their healing journey. So for those embarking on inner child work, what advice would you give them based on your own experiences and the lessons you've learned?
Well, one of the things that I always talk about is really learning to understand who you are right now and really release all the projection from other people, what your family thinks you should be doing, or you should be with, or what kind of job you should be doing. Other people projecting their fears onto you and all of that things. And for me, it's like about really following what your soul wants you to do, or your spirit, your intuition, however you want to call it, your heart. You know, we all know who we are and what we want to do, but oftentimes we allow other people to decide for us, and we think we're making decision for ourselves, but the truth is maybe we are doing something because, I don't know, religion says this is what you should be doing. Your parents said this is what you should be doing. Your friends, your coworker. As you move forward in your life, then maybe the people around you change, but it's about really learning to listen to your intuition and trust that everything that you feel like doing, it's the right thing, even if the people around you don't understand it or don't agree with it.
Well said. So, are there specific practices or exercises that you often recommend for nurturing the inner child?
A lot of meditation.
Mm-hmm.
I meditate every morning, and then I journal about it, especially when there is something going on.
Yeah.
Write a lot, because that helps you to, first of all, especially when there is a very strong emotion that maybe is going on with you, and you feel maybe too anger or too sad or restless or whatever it is that you feel overwhelmed, writing down how are you feeling, why you're feeling like that, what's happened, helps you put that situation in perspective, and also can help you realize some things about yourself. So it takes off the charge of the emotion, and meditation helps you to calm down and also maybe receive messages from your intuition.
As Mara has shared, some practical tips and exercises can launch you on your path to healing. And she's right. Meditation and journaling are powerful tools. Now let me build on Mara's foundation and enhance your healing toolkit with a few more strategies. Begin with inner dialogue. It's crucial to practice having a compassionate conversation with your younger self. Imagine sitting down with the child you once were. Offer words of comfort, understanding, and reassurance. It's a profoundly nurturing practice that fosters internal healing. Next, let's focus on mindful breathing. It's not just about taking deep breaths. It's about being fully present with each inhalation and exhalation. This technique can anchor you in the present moment, connecting you intimately with your emotions. Now, consider art therapy. It's about putting pen to paper, brush to canvas, hands to clay. Any form of artistic expression that lets you communicate what might be too complex or painful to say out loud. Turn those feelings into something visual, tangible. Let's not forget the power of writing, and I don't just mean keeping a diary. Delve into creative writing to reimagine past events, to write stories of healing and empowerment that reflect your journey. It's also essential to identify boundaries in your relationships. Take a step back and consider where you might need to draw the line more firmly to protect your well-being and peace of mind, which leads us to communication. Practice expressing your needs and maintaining your boundaries with assertiveness, not aggression. It's about being clear and respectful, both to others and to yourself. Now, let me guide you through an inner child visualization exercise. Close your eyes. Envision your younger self, the moments of light and shadow. Speak to this child. Shower them with love and validation. It's a powerful act of self-healing. And don't forget affirmations, positive affirmations to be exact. Identify those negative beliefs that have taken root since childhood and counteract them with positive, empowering statements. Repeat these daily, let them become a new truth for you. Lastly, consider connecting with supportive communities like online forums. Others who walk a similar path can offer empathy, advice, and that all-important sense of not being alone. Remember, these exercises are just the beginning. Your healing journey is uniquely yours. It calls for patience, self-compassion, and dedication to nourishing your inner child. And if Mara's insights resonated with you, then Heartbeat Chronicles might be the next chapter in your story, where you can dive deeper and find even more practices to enrich your journey. Let's talk about impact of inner child healing, Mara. Can you share a success story where someone's life significantly transformed through inner child healing and your coaching methods? How have you seen individuals blossom and grow after addressing their inner child wounds?
Really, starts when with at first, normally it comes. So normally people work with me at least for 6 months, and then oftentimes people continue for another 6 months. So inner child healing, it's not something that you can do in one session. In one session, I can help you understand what's going on and maybe
Yeah.
connect to something in
Mhm.
your childhood.
Yeah.
But to do some really serious work, you have to do it for a few months,
Mhm.
because before you get to the actual cause of the problem, there
Mhm.
are a lot of different layers that you need to release first.
Mhm.
And so it's a process. And we start with what's on the surface that seems like, I don't know, maybe you're afraid to show up on video, for example.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, so let's try to do this. And so I'll give some exercises and stuff. And as you start to take action,
Mhm.
you start to maybe feel something like a fear, or maybe, we talk about it and then we uncover slowly, layer by layer until we get to the bottom of it. But it's a process that takes a little bit of time, because at the beginning, some people might be afraid to go that down, and then some people might not have ever done any work on themselves, and so you can't really just go down deep into something. You have to uncover what's on the surface, and then the more you uncover, the more you can go deeper. So it takes a little bit of time. Take action, then
Yeah.
you know what's going on, because maybe I don't know, you feel afraid of something, or you feel overwhelmed, and so we look into that emotion. We try to figure out, okay, so where is this emotion coming from? What happened when you did this and that? And so, but you have to take action for a little while, and then we can figure out what's really going on.
So, Mara, if someone wants to start their healing journey, where can they find you?
You can find me on my website, theintuitionqueen.com. And once you go in there, you can find, at the moment, I only have one session, which is called Soul Alchemy, where I will channel information from your energy. I will do a color reading. I might pull cards, but we'll talk about what's going on, and what are the things that you need to work on, and what are the things that are keeping you stuck, and all of that. And if you want to continue working with me, then we can talk about working for 6 months or more, depending on what you need. But that's what you can do. And you can also join my Facebook group, which is called Soulful Success Blueprint. And that's free. And I do master classes, videos about a lot of different kind of things. And there are some really nice people in there. You can join the community. They're really lovely.
Mhm.
And also you can find me on Instagram, the_intuition_queen. And you can see all of the new content that I put out there. And you can listen to my podcast, which is called Intuitive Queens. But everything, the easiest place to go, it's probably my website. And from there, then you can join everything else that you want. You can also find me on LinkedIn as Mara Marchesi. And yeah, and I have right now, I'm gonna start promoting a free distant Reiki for the new moon on the 10th of March. So
Mhm.
if you want to join, you just have to sign up. And then there is nothing else for you to do. You just sign up, and then I tune into the people's energy on the day the full moon is active here, and I
Mhm.
will do some distant Reiki to the people that have joined.
Mara, your journey into the world of intuition has been absolutely fascinating. From discovering your intuitive abilities, which propelled you to help others, to the in depth incorporation of these skills into your coaching, it's clear why Intuition Queen isn't just a nickname, but a testament to your practice. This regal title mirrors your approach to coaching and healing perfectly, resonating with the empowerment and profound insights that you provide. As we wrap up, I want to thank you for sharing your story and for showing us that intuition can indeed be a compass guiding us towards our true north. Thank you immensely for gracing us with your presence on Heartbeat Chronicles. Being our very first guest is an honor, and your insights on healing inner child wounds have undoubtedly left a lasting impact on our listeners. We are deeply grateful for your time, wisdom, and willingness to share your journey with us.
It's been an honor. Well, thank you so much, Michelle. It's been really nice.
Mara, as we wrap up, what advice can you give to the beautiful and handsome soulful ambassadors who are watching or listening to us?
Everything is possible. If you find yourself in a really complicated situation, you don't know how to get out, sometimes just reaching out for someone can help. But otherwise, just ask yourself questions on how and start to visualize a better future for you or something better for you. And that will just help you to move the energy.
Inner child healing is a transformative journey that takes us back to the earliest chapters of our life story. It invites us to reconnect with that often neglected part of ourselves, the child within. This vulnerable, innocent, and authentic core carries the unprocessed emotions, traumas, and joys of our younger years. By engaging in inner child work, we aim to acknowledge, soothe, and heal these past experiences. This process isn't just about revisiting our beginnings, it's about reshaping our present and future. The impact? It can be profound. As we heal our inner child, we peel away layers of pain and self-doubt, revealing a clearer path to personal success and fulfillment. This healing can manifest in various aspects of life, from improving our relationships to enhancing self-esteem and allowing us to chase dreams with unburdened vigor. Those feelings of being stuck, those patterns we couldn't seem to escape, they begin to unravel, giving us a chance at a renaissance of the self. That's the power of embracing and healing our inner child. When I embarked on my inner child healing journey, I wasn't entirely prepared for the emotional transformation that lay ahead. It's comparable to waking up from a long, deep sleep, where dreams were tinged with the hues of forgotten wounds and unmet needs. But as my eyes adjusted to the sunlight of awareness, I found a world pulsating with the potential for self-rediscovery. The process wasn't without its moments of discomfort, much like the growing pains of youth, but these pains were the forging of a stronger self, a testament to resilience. Facing each buried memory with compassion was akin to nurturing a garden long neglected. There was so much beauty waiting to break through the hard-end soil of my defenses. One of the best feelings throughout this journey has been the blossoming of self-compassion. It's as if I'm meeting myself for the first time, seeing through the eyes of understanding and care that I always yearned for from others. Each step forward on this path I've tread has been a gentle hand on my back, encouraging me towards a deeper sense of peace. It's not just about healing, it's about becoming the person who can laugh louder, love harder, and live more authentically. And although I'm sharing this personal revelation with you, it's one that is echoed in the hearts of many who dare to journey inwards. I've learned to relish this journey, to see it not as a path to perfection, but as a dance, one where missteps are part of the choreography. The inner child within me has started to heal through acknowledgement, through understanding, and above all, through love. This, dear soulful ambassadors, is a dance of transformation, and it's one of the best feelings imaginable. Confronting past traumas isn't a walk in the park. It's like peeling back the layers of an onion. Each layer, a memory, a feeling, a moment in time that's contributed to who I am today. That deep dive into my psyche began with a heart-to-heart with my mom about the elephant in the room, the absent figure of my father. It's curious how talking about something can shift your perspective on it. As I voiced out the feelings I had held in, something unexpected happened. Instead of the familiar pangs of absence, I felt a well of gratitude overflow within me. Gratitude for the people who were present, who filled my days with laughter and my nights with warmth. You see, allowing myself to feel the void left by my father's absence actually highlighted the depth of love I'd received from others, and it shifted how I navigated my world. My mother, with her unyielding presence, taught me about resilience, about facing life's battles head-on, sans armor, but with a heart full of courage. That conversation with my mom was difficult. Reliving those moments, the birthdays and milestones he missed, the quiet realizations of the things I had to learn on my own, these weren't easy memories to wade through, but it was transformative, as if shedding light on those dark corners, disinfecting wounds with the open air, could finally allow them to heal. Through it all, I started to piece together a mosaic of love that was different, sure, but no less complete. I realized that while a part of me yearned for that paternal bond, another part was learning to weave together a network of love that was uniquely mine. This journey of confrontation isn't over. It's still unfolding, one conversation and one revelation at a time. But this I know, acknowledging our traumas, facing them with the bravery to dig deep, can rebalance the scales of our emotional ledger. It sparks a sort of alchemy that turns longing into appreciation and transforms the narrative of loss into one of immeasurable gain. It's a work in progress, certainly. Some days are easier than others, and the pull towards those old familiar patterns can be strong. But the best part? With every layer of understanding, every moment of self-compassion, I feel a step closer to being whole on my own terms. And perhaps, in achieving that wholeness, I'll attract partners who complement rather than complete me, creating a partnership of equals rather than a dynamic of dependence. It's an empowering shift, and I can't help but feel optimistic about the love that awaits me. Love that honors both the child I once was and the adult I'm becoming. It's a testament to the profound impact of inner child healing on life's most intimate bonds. Embarking on this journey of inner child healing has been illuminating. There's an unmistakable sense of progress, like peeling away layers to reveal the core of my emotional essence. I can say with a reflective honesty that I find myself at a 70% mark on this path of healing. It's a number that's neither arbitrary nor absolute, but it signifies the milestones I've reached and the lessons I've integrated. The impact has been profound. Where once there was a void, now there is understanding and self-compassion. I've developed the tools to mend the fractures of my past in a way that fosters resilience and growth. However, true healing is not a destination, but a continuous process, one that requires patience, persistence, and courage. I'm mindful that the journey is ongoing, with twists and turns ahead. Each day offers new opportunities for growth, and with that, the chance to further tune the harmony between my inner child and my present self. Here I stand, empowered by the journey behind me and curious about the path that lies ahead. It's a testament to the transformative power of healing and the enduring strength of the human spirit. It's funny, isn't it? How people can form perceptions of you without really knowing the full story. This one time, I decided to open up to my friends about being raised by a single mom, and you should have seen their faces. Complete disbelief. They were all like, "Riley, you're messing with us, right?" There I was, sharing something so personal, and it almost felt like a plot twist in their version of my life story. They had this ingrained idea that a kid raised by a single parent, especially without a father, would act out or somehow broadcast their father wound for the whole world to see. But nope, not in my case. I had to explain to them that I didn't grow up within the confines of that stereotype. My mom, she was extraordinary. The love, the attention, the support I received from her didn't just fill a gap. It overflowed. She tripled down on her efforts to ensure I never felt lacking. And her superpowers must have worked, because my friends, they truly thought both my parents were in the picture, steering the ship with me. So what does that tell us? It tells us that the absence of one figure doesn't define our whole story. It's about who is there, the quality of the bonds we forge, and the love that we're surrounded by. It proves that sometimes reality is a whole lot richer and more positive than perceptions can ever be. And sure, I'm on a healing journey, uncovering layers of myself shaped by the past. But my friend's surprise, that was a moment that truly underscored just how much we can defy expectations and thrive. They say it takes a village to raise a child, but in my case, it took a single extraordinary woman to fill the hearts of many. My mother, a powerhouse of love and resilience, became the bedrock of my upbringing. It's astonishing, really, how her love seemed to triple in measure, gracefully stepping in to cover the gap left by my father's absence. This isn't just about making ends meet. No, she did more than provide. She nurtured, she taught, she believed. She crafted a mosaic of support that I now realize was incredibly special. My mother's unwavering love became my anchor in turbulent times, a beacon of hope that shined on my darkest days. The manner in which she loved me redefined my understanding of what family could be. It was her strength, her relentless commitment, that taught me the true essence of love and devotion. Even now, as I stand in my truth and share with you all my journey of healing, it's clear her influence runs deep in the very fabric of who I am today. Friends shook their heads in disbelief at the news of my single-parent upbringing, exclaiming it defied everything they thought they knew about father wounds. But what they didn't see was the sheer magnitude of maternal love that raised me, loved me double, and fostered within me a richness far beyond what was missing. When we talk about the pillars that hold up the edifice of our lives, we often picture more than one. But for some of us, one is all it takes. To all the single parents out there doing the magnificent work of many, you are the unsung heroes, the backbone of your children's worlds, and forever the architects of their successes. Thank you for filling hearts, just as my mother filled mine. And as we close this chapter of our conversation, keep embracing the love that's present in your life, and remember, your strength is a testament of the love that made you. As we draw the curtain on today's episode, I'm reflecting on our insightful conversation with Mara. It's been incredibly enlightening, and I'm realizing that my own journey with my father has just begun. I'm reminded that while Rome wasn't built in a day, each small step is a move towards progress. Before we part ways, let's not forget about our ongoing #Soulful Minds challenge. For those who missed our last Q&A segment on Hey Soulful Riley, fear not, you can still catch up. If you're tuning in from YouTube, the link is waiting for you just below this video. For our audio listeners, you'll find the link ready on our Instagram at Heartbeat_Chronicles and at _soulful_Riley. Join the conversation by tagging us on our socials at Heartbeat_Chronicles and _soulful_Riley. And don't forget to include Call Mary with Callmary_calm. Use the hashtags #SoulfulMinds Challenge, #Heartbeat Chronicles, #CallMary, #Mental Wellness Journey, #Soulful Minds, and nominate a friend to join in too. In exciting news, we've officially launched our merch on TeePublic. From coffee and travel mugs to an array of t-shirts and hoodies in different sizes, styles, and colors, we've got you covered. Indulge in our crew neck sweatshirts, tank tops, wall arts, pins, magnets, stickers, tote bags, pillows, kids' t-shirts, hoodies, and even baby bodysuits. For our YouTube family, the link to our store is in the description box. And for our listeners, head over to our Instagram at Heartbeat_Chronicles and _soulful_Riley for the link. To our soulful ambassadors who've been liking, commenting, and engaging with our content, your support means the world to us. To everyone watching or listening, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you. If you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, like, and tap that notification bell for more. Stay tuned for a sneak peek at our next episode, Things Men Secretly Crave to Hear. Don't forget to follow us on our socials at Heartbeat_Chronicles and personally at _soulful_Riley. Share our content with friends, family, loved ones, and anyone else who might benefit from our message. For a one-stop connection to all our platforms, check out the link in our Instagram bio, which now includes links to our Facebook and Pinterest at Heartbeat Chronicles Podcast and our Reddit at Heartbeat Chronicles. Thank you once again for lending us your ears and hearts. Till next time, keep nurturing your soul and illuminating the minds around you. Goodbye for now. On this episode of Heartbeat Chronicles, Riley Mitchell and Mara explored the topic of inner child wounds and the importance of healing for personal growth. Thank you for joining us today on the Heartbeat Chronicles, where we explore the complexities of love, sex, wellness, and the messy in between. Don't miss our next episode, and remember to subscribe for more insightful conversations.